movement. Have to be one hell of a guess from Weeha to hit it.
Faith barely close to his Blink Dagger, but not quite yet. We still has sleep now for just a second.
Yeah, that'll give time for the crush. Innocent's on his way. Hasn't actually started up the Fortune's End. He's too far away from the Mirana for that.
And always have to be wary of that Sun Strike. But now we already see the early BOTs coming out from Razor. He is the most farmed hero in the game. Dragonlance, very good at spacing herself, so you don't have to get caught in the Chronosphere by the Faceless Void, or get jumped on by the Sand King, who's still a long way away from the Blink Dagger. I like his item choice.
They all are. Iron Talon's not paying off. This is how these guys break meta. Misery will have to fight, defend underneath the tier 1 tower. With Song of the Siren up, Wings have to be a little bit more cautious too.
Delaying Iron Talon.
Yeah, that's not a thing.
They expect you to go to the jungle though.
It's that they do. Maybe that's it. It's the next level mind game. Ice Eyes, Sweet. It's getting really close, that Aghanim set, but then Wing's gonna have a problem with the burst damage which DC can provide.
At the same time, they'll hit their timing with maybe the first item up on Invoker and the Lincoln Sphere on the Faceless Void. Right now, they don't have to worry too much about the Roshan. No signs of a Vlad's move, usually the builder of it, but this game opting for the Phase Trump instead. He has converted his Satyr to an Alpha Wolf aura.
Double smokes, DC, they smoked and went through the bottom river looking down to the bottom lane where Ice is currently farming up. Where's the double smoke coming out from Wings? They're going to see Weeha actually invis thanks to Sentry Ward. Very quick Chronosphere, the nuke, the Sun Strike. Sucks a perfect place to cancel that one off, and the Song of the Siren. They may realize that Sentry Ward was down, hence they went on him. And the Song of the Siren will allow them to back out. So no Chrono, no Song, but they keep looking for the fight. ISI, the Invoker can die in the meantime. Shadow caught out by the Purge, as well as the Mirana a little bit further up. And with the Ensnare to hold Shadow in position, he time walks away a little bit of the damage. He's a little bit long with the Fire Strike. Epicenter from ISI to the back line. He may find damage. He may have enough with the unbelievable way. The Mirana, he's not out yet. The bash, it's the damage from Slaughter. You'll find it. Blinking over the crush. A double kill for Face. You still have DC going in deep with you for the other kills. Side, the Fire Strike up, away from Resolutions only. Now the double crush. They don't want anyone to do this, Wing. That Blink Dagger will put back on cooldown thanks to Plasma Field. They trigger the drum charge, but Wings back underneath their own tier 2 towers. Ice, what are you waiting for here? Razor's coming over. He'll hit him once. The Plasma Field will be enough to get the kill. Oh, why is he hanging around? The Fire Strike was on cooldown as well, but he tried to save it. And Resolution gets a freebie.
Yeah, just more and more kills going the way of Razor. He is becoming incredibly difficult to deal with. All these melee heroes trying to go on him, but he just stands his ground, not really under any threat as Blink constantly gets picked off in the side lanes.
And he's going for a more of an early fighting build too. That Sun's just flying on the courier to him at the moment. So it's not an early BKB he's looking for. It looks to be an S and Y to go along with that Dragonlance. Plus the maneuverability, the speed he gets from the BTs. Like he's already moving at 442. It's only going to get faster.
Yeah, that combined with the threat of the Mirana, it's going to be very difficult for Void to hit Chronos in these upcoming fights. And this is even before the Doom has come out onto him.
And Void's still trying to finish up. Like he's not even thinking about a Blink Dagger at the moment. He's still trying to get that last bit of money in to finish up the Lincoln Sphere.
And I would like to see a Force Staff come out for one of Wings' heroes to deal with the static Link. We're getting a lot of damage from that.
They both need to get money. Oh, nice Sun Strike with the call snap. Misery gets hit. The cross on the Weeha. Fortune then holds him in position. The attack. He leaves it disjoints. Eyesight held back thanks to the Purge from Zuxa, but it won't be enough to help him stay alive. Oracle purifying him with flames. And they'll take the tier 1 tower after 2 kills.
And I like how they don't really, like normally when you're in this position of thinking, like, okay, I need a few more minutes for my Blink Dagger guy. Just let me stack up a camp or two. But no, they go the opposite route. They go for kills, they get the tower, they almost even get the Mirana with that. And not looking to lay off on the pressure here.
You don't farm creeps, you farm heroes. That's the way Wings want to approach this. They'll give him the top lane now.
You have to be careful not get caught out by a Moonlight Shadow over here. They don't have any sentry wards in the area, and no one's showing on the map, so they won't actually know if they Moonlight Shadow up. They're in position to do so.
And with a TP arriving from Zuxa, comes in as that SD. Already Misery waiting in the trees, and that's that Moonlight Shadow you're talking about. Moo will walk forward. Ice is the one to go on, but where is your damage output? Face coming in. They just have to let him go down. He was so close to having his blink dagger, but is stripped away by DC with a kill.
At 21.89, and that's what you get. You don't pay for sentries thinking that you can get away with it, but they were missing off the map for a very, very long time. That should always be a warning sign that Moonlight's about to come out.
Surprised he was still then underneath the tower so far. With the observer up from Wings, they do have good vision. They realize both Saxo as well as Misery are on the back line space, looking for the perfect blink. Cronus Spear, it hits on the SD. The Crush, no stronger the Siren out. He already gets the kill on the SD. Misery holding that ultimate while Resolution steals the damage face away with a fortune. Then Resolution wants to keep fighting here. The Slaughter, there's the time lock. Song of the Siren, hold the fun, but wait for it. It will be released as the arrow flies in. Who's the connector? The Slaughter down instantly. Fire Striker into the epicenter. DC, the damage, the Vapor Bell out this moment. Ice, no Resolution, hiding with the plasma field. Blink will finally arrive. With the devastating blast pushing DC back. Pulse Snap moving a little bit too deep. Time lock as well. They bring down Moo. And as he is forced back almost up to the tier 1 towers. The Sunstrike looking for a target. A little too early, however. Misery and Weeha were still trying to run away from the lane.
That was almost an excellent chrono, but at least he caught the higher priority target in the Shadow. Demon Sox has been on point with all
Shadow. Arrow, Weeha. You still have Blink here to deal with. The Force Spirits are up, but Shadow time walks off the damage. Just barely.
Whew. That HP from the Lincolns coming to help him out right there.
It's funny, they didn't even trigger the Lincolns for him.
Still, the Razors have been such a huge problem. Sinking almost has his Blink Dagger, still 400 gold away as he perishes another time.
I'll let the guy have the mid lane, then he can catch up.
Yep.
Mid lane as well as the mid camps.
They have Vlad now on Doom, so now they can look towards Roshan Pit, maybe as the next Song of the Siren cools down, but he's only level 8 on the Naga Siren. They have to wait a whole 3 minutes in between songs.
Is this going to be like game number 1-2, where they play around Song, play around Faces for Chrono? Obviously that cooldown, as you said, like there's a big difference between the two.
There's more teamfight ultimates this game, so they don't have to rely on just one big one for either team. The Moonlight Shadow can be used to initiate a fight like we saw on top. The Doom can go for solo picks with his very long cooldown ultimate, and on the other side we have Wings with the Epicenter, which they can easily combo with Slardar to get some easy kills.
Wings going to finally make use of this timing with a Blink Dagger on ISIS. They smoke up. They are headed towards the pit. The question is, they go? Nope, they arc up a little bit further north.
They were hoping that DC would take it without Song, because then that's the perfect opportunity for Jump them and get a really good lead on this game, but DC are not that careless. Rating has used Scan. They expect the smoke, not in the right direction, but they still kind of know what's up.
Well, they want to go in. They're going to slip inside the pit, but the TPs are arriving. DC. The scan was on bottom lane looking for the Naga Siren. Look how close they are. The plasma field from Resolution hits on Innocence, actually dropping it by half of his life. So they already start the heal. They get out of Roshan.
And with the Naga Siren illusions going to the pit and the Song coming off cooldown soon, there's no way that they can do this Roche. I don't even think if they like headed straight there and didn't go to the Ancients, I still don't think it would have been enough time. Not enough physical damage yet, basically with the defensive build and Invoker with just not many items at this point.
And this game is still so close throughout this entire, like we've gone through 23.5 minutes at the moment, and no one's held advantage over 1,000 really in this entire game, both gold and net worth, just showing you how close these teams are.
All about the team fight. Can they combo Song with a static link before into like an arrow into a Doom, or is Wings going to get the jump on them with a finally blink on the Sand King into an Epicenter?
Yeah, that Epicenter always seems to come in just a little bit too late. You'd think it's going to have a big burst, but it doesn't. It is a level 2 Epi. So this is a difference which will be there for the Wings team fight.
It depends on how they start off the fight. Like he has a couple of ways of doing it. One combo with the Chrono, but you expect the Naga Siren to come out if you don't get the Naga Siren. If the Naga Siren's in there, then yeah, you channel the Epi. But if it doesn't come out, maybe you wait until after the Chrono Sphere, wait until they're about to jump after the Song, and then go in. So I don't know how Isis is going to play. He's been in the fight a lot early, but that's because he doesn't have his Blink Dagger.
With it now, he does blink straight over the top of the Dire Observer Ward, so DC realized that Wings are doing an incursion towards the top lane.
Oh, there's the Ags on Invoker. I saw his item just a few minutes ago. Like, he's on top of net worth, but he didn't look like he had that many items. But yeah, with a completed Ags, they have the damage.
He only bought it a minute ago, so...
Well,
bottom lane,
DC with the smoke on top.
Can they find their target? Wings are already bailing out. They bring both Innocence and Faith Beyond down the bottom lane, looking for resolution. The Observer Ward is giving them the information they want. As Digital Chaos, they see Ice into their own ops ward. That's a long way to go. They don't have that easy jump in like you get from an SK. The SD and Naga have to close the distance the old-fashioned way.
Wonder what they're gonna get with the Doombringer, because they ideally want him to initiate the fight. Like, starting with the song is very risky, because then you leave yourself exposed to the Chronosphere. And Razor, like, he's strong, but once he gets BKB, maybe he can run in. So Razor and or Doom is going to be your main initiators, unless you get a straight arrow. So a lot of different ways, but maybe going something on the Doom like Blink or Shadowblade can open up a lot more options for Wings. Maybe not able to gank the Faces Void, but everyone else can be an option. You want to be able to deal with the Invoker as he's split pushing.
There's the Force Staff you're asking for. It's over on the Slaughter. So we've got both Blink and Force Staff, a highly maneuverable team from Wings, while the Blink deck, I guess, is completed on Weeha. So they're Blink into double Starfall and they lead their way to safety. It'll be problematic for Wings if they get hit by that before the fight begins. And Wings actually buying up a new item of their own. They instantly TP'd the mid lane, so once again, after the fresh Blink Dagger on Wings, this time it's on Shadow, they smoke up and they look for an opening on DC. The Observer Ward tells them everything they need to know. Burrow strike down, Zuxa gets popped by the Invoker, Zone Strike, and then the Blink double cross! The corner! Now catch out to Misery! The song comes out! The beautiful tones! At least beautiful for DC. The arrow will hit perfectly on Shadow, but Ice, they're trying to keep up. Where's that 4-star forward? They don't have it. They look down into the green line. They find Misery. Can't get out.
What a perfect time for a smoke, and I think if you trade Song for Chronos, it's actually pretty good for Wings, because now they can do Roche without fear of reprisal from the DC side. You can't really go into there with Razor and a Doom. Maybe if Verona hits an arrow, but that's a big maybe, and Roshan is dropping fast.
They let it go. Moonstade's up on top lane, farming up. We will push out the mid, so at least Wings. They can't just rotate down the bottom lane and take out the tier 2 tower. They must come back and defend their top and mid lane.
Oh god, look at Blink's items now. He is so farmed.
Regeneration.
There's the Shadowblade pickup from Mood. That was his item of choice.
Yeah, this is the best way to deal with Invoker. But now that he has an Aegis, it's like, you might have a lot of wasted time with your Shadowblade. You can't gank the Face's Void with that.
Just kite him out, like let the Invoker sit in the back lines while you kill off everybody else, if that's possible.
Yeah, I think that's how it's gonna go. Ideally, you maybe even kill the Slaughter at the start, but then again, you have the Oracle, able to just save anyone who gets doomed. It's difficult for them. I think Murata has to be in there to do a lot of damage and pressure the Oracle to use his cooldowns very early on into the fight. A lot of this rests on Louis.
Well, this man is used to pressure. He's had a terrific tournament so far.
They need more tomes on the Naga Siren too. Like, she is really far behind on level. She's doing well in items, but you really need level 2 Song. Like, they're forced to play so defensively because of this. And the windows for Wings to engage is just really huge. Now, Naga Siren Ultimate is like way longer cooldown for Faces Void. Faces Void can find a fight perhaps in the next minute where DC can't respond.
Say hello to a fresh BKB over on Resolution. Avoid the Chrono, or maybe he can be a big influence in the fights.
He still has to be a little bit careful. Amplify damage with Force Spear speeding on him and Sunstrike all can take him down once he can.
I don't think careful is really in his vocabulary. He's running straight down into the lane. He'll actually Plaza Field, revealing the Slaughter. They're TPing out. The crush will happen. Slaughter has a TP scroll of his own. They have no stuns on Resolution, but that was one man. DC were a mile behind him.
That's also a BKB reveal, however. Normally you want to bait it out. It's like, okay, Sand King's going to go in with a Burrow Epicenter, and then you turn around with the BKB. That's the ideal fight for them. But now that it's
Wings, face coming up, they don't realize that Shadowblade's on the Doom, but now, okay, yeah, they do. They caught a glimpse of him as he backed up. Wings also scanned a little bit further up. They're trying to see if DC was going to move through the river entrance.
But they already have a gem on Slardar. Yeah, I mean, they're not worried.
At Innocence cost, Moonlight Shadow forward. As he said though, with that gem, this may be a big trap. In the tree lines, Ice is close. Do they get a glimpse? The Slaughter's not far enough forward. Now they see Resolution. He reveals the fact that Moonlight Shadow was used.
The mid lane just makes this too obvious. Look at mid lane, look at top lane. These creeps are just beating on the tower. This is just a clear sign that DC are away and up to something funky.
Their Wings, they remain patient. They don't find any pickups as DC bailed out, but DC were also very, very, very deep as far as Wings look into their jungle.
And Mirana's falling pretty far behind the net worth, at least relative to the Invoker. The Midas, the Aegis, all these have added up to him being a huge leader in terms of net worth. And I'd be much more scared of a farmed Invoker than a farmed Razor, because Razor can only do so much. He also had to commit to a BKB, which isn't that much damage.
Yeah, how does Resolution in fact build from here? Do you try and go for this, like do you continue for a very heavy mid-game build?
I like the Shiva's build. Gives you a lot of armor versus Amplify, and you need that AoE presence in a team fight so you can run in there. Your biggest fear as like a BKB hero is running there and your whole team dies around you because you can't pressure them enough, you can't do enough damage, you can't soak up enough spells, and I think the Shiva's is kind of the perfect medium for that. You're also self-sufficient with the static link. You can link heroes without relying on a disruption or a demonic purge or an ensnare, and also just limits a lot of damage output, especially from summons like Invoker. Faces Void, who doesn't have that much attack speed, although I can say that he has a hybrid stuff.
Oh, you have the plate mail up, so it's fine. Where do they go? Down the bottom lane? Everyone's grouping up again, but in the trees, Ice stays there with an Observer Ward in the lane. He can make really good decisions.
Yeah, he can.
As far as not dying.
They can set up for an Epi Blink into Sunstrike, but it has to be on a weaker hero. Nagazarn actually has a gem. They will scout it out. They might kill him right now.
Oh, well, there goes your obs.
I thought he was going to go on him right there. That would have been the perfect kill for them.
Don't see him in the trees.
Yeah, Ice no longer has any vision. He has to get out of there.
Link's almost finished up his Lincoln Sphere. He's got almost all of it sitting inside of his stash. Actually, no, he's finished it. It's sitting on the curry.
It's the best build to deal with Doombringer. And Doombringer, you'll usually see them go for the Sage creep, or sorry, the Purge creep, to deal with the Lincoln Sphere, but at the same time,
oh,
really
be really careful. That gem is there from Fate. They understand the Doombringer's in the neighborhood. As the Observe Ward on the hillside gave Wings the good vision.
They're split pushing the sides though, and Aegis will expire. DC have to be happy about that one. But they're still looking to press the side of the map. Will they be able to take down their Observer Ward but before they have to defend the lanes? I don't know. This Observer Ward still sees them.
Yep, and here they come. Blink up, Slaughter, double front. Amplify up with a double barrel front from Eyesight. The Song of the Siren. It cancels the epicenter. Move, Misery, Wing. It is bail, bail, bail. The TP away to safety.
What a save coming out from them. Sinking, yeah, the epicenter. He has to initiate. That's a problem right now. The Slaughter has to. He went in first, and they weren't really well coordinating that. They wanted to coordinate their stuns, but I have to applaud Misery with his positioning too. As a Nagazarn, especially a support one, you never want to get caught out. And with all these blink initiations, and the 4 stabs, and all these Yules and whatnot, it's extremely difficult to keep a low death count. This game he's already had 4, but not too troublesome. But now they have Chronosphere. They want to take a fight with Chronosphere. There is no Song of the Siren. Shadow Demon now has to be the one to stay outside of the fight. Arrow almost connects with Shadow.
That Burrow strike forward. Ice Weeha actually committing the double Starfall, trying to hit the S10. Not possible, and Wings have to make the right decision. They're going for all the remaining outer towers. They take the mid, now they rotate top. They still have the advantage for another 115 seconds, as until Song is back off cooldown.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
DC, they're trying not to get out farmed at this point, especially with the Invoker getting out of control. But Wings are only 2,000 gold ahead, although that will spike up after these towers. And with the next Roshan, has to be very troublesome. Naga's still not 11.
Ice cops a 5-second arrow, but he's got almost every member of Wings around him. But there is no follow-up to this.
And as of right now, there's only one Observer Ward left on the map with the Battle of the Gems. DC only have eyes in the Radiant jungle as both teams circle around Roche.
Invisibility.
Wings are starting to stretch ahead. As far as the Golden Experience goes, we're either over or at 4,000 in both the Golden Experience. So Wings slowly, bit by bit, they're getting a small advantage in this game. Even if their team fight and the way the heroes are moving, it kind of feels like they got a huge advantage.
They have better split push threat. Despite the Razor having the early BOTs, the Invoker is just much better at pushing out the lanes because he can solo kill anyone who's out alone. Whereas the Razor, you can force them to run away, but you can't actually kill them. So DC are having their lanes shoved in at the moment. Not what you want as you eye the Roshan.
So does Wings keep farming up until they're like in an immortal position against DC? Or do they need to focus on finding kills outside the base? Because I'm thinking like, how does Wings take the first lane of rounds? how do they work towards this
It's
objective?
a long process. Firstly, they have to push out the lanes so that DC split up. Oh, ideally, you want to get the gem first. Once you limit the gem, then you can get observer rewards, and then you can take chronospheres when the Naga Siren's not there. You can get Epi Blinks when the Naga isn't there. You can get Slarar to crush them with a Sunstrike when the Naga's not there. But it all depends on them having vision of DC, and DC, they do not want to split up as 5 and give Wings that opportunity. Once you do those, you can take down Roche and slowly make the siege. But you know, Dota's not a book, Dota's not a script. You can't just follow things like that, and you gotta keep the observer wards up. So we see one observer ward up placed really.
It's such a smart ward too.
Yeah, I barely see that.
It's in the trees at the very eastern part of the Dire Jungle, and because Misery's sending illusions everywhere, because he got the gem on him, so they get true sight out from all the illusions, they've never found this observer ward. So Wings, they can see where DC are moving.
Yeah, those are the wards that win you games, especially in the gem on gem ward. It's extremely difficult to keep them up, and I think that's going to set me up for a very long time. Roshan looks like it's going to be a 2.5 minute respawn.
Well, the AC is done in time for it. So not too far up before DC can move down.
Dire's bottom
So they
tower
have some
is
nice
under
auras to work with here, DC. At the same time, Ice is trying to finish up his Aghanim Scepter. He's rapidly approaching it. This is his primary choice of item after getting the Blink and the Yule Scepter.
Fire, as you scan Ice, looks like he may run into it.
No, holy TPs. He's going top lane. He wants the money, remember? Like, if he's going to reach this Aghanim Scepter, he needs to get this top lane farm. It's 100 gold away now.
The TP out super risky there. What if Roche were up or right after that Sunstrike? Then they could easily take it. If Wings try and go in there, then Naga Siren sleeps. I don't know if they know that Ice TP'd up there, but it's very likely considering he doesn't have a TP in his inventory. Well, with this smoke up, going to expire. Maybe Wings can scout out with the help. Ooh. Well, they don't need 4 spears when you have a scan. It will land red.
Perfectly done.
Think they're in vision.
Well, that's the beauty of having the Observe Ward over on the edge of the Dire Jungle. They understand that DC are not in their jungle at the moment. And this allows Wings to use Shadow as bait. Ice with a fresh Axe, hoping to put it to use.
And a fresh Octarine on the Invoker. But that means very few buybacks on the side of Wings. They're throwing all their network on this impending Roche fight.
And DC are just hoping for an opening, but while this goes on, while they group up, they didn't achieve anything. Wings was getting the farm they wanted.
Wings going to show in mid. He could get jumped out right here if they're not careful.
Well, they're headed down for Roshan instead. The Naga illusions are on their way. It's smoke-covered Wings moving up to the Ancients. Weeha comes in the middle of a fire strike up. They find Resolution Club as well. Can they kill off Weeha? No, the lead pass. He'll get the start for Oracle. Purifies it with the flames once again. And it's Resolution bashed up. The fight was in the 2 different parts. Einstein put on the backline for the Chronosphere. Sunstride's coming in. The damage isn't enough. Destruction. Zuxa tries to keep his core alive as Resolution runs away, but now with the time dilation, Tornado, we caught him! Thanks to the club from Faith Beyond, Resolution worked out the wall, start for the back from Shadow, who finds the secondary one into Naga. Zuxa, he needs to get out, the damage is horrible! Sunstrike, no! He was drawn to the line, but you do not walk towards the line!
Oh, man. Crowd goes wild as Wings take down 4. That was, man, I really like their positioning. They didn't go for the Piranha in mid because that was the only hero showing you. Expect them to go up there, but they go in, they find the back line, and the sleep comes out, but Razor and the rest of his brethren fall Mood, the sole survivor, as Wings close in on this T3.
Now I can't wait for Weatherman Person to tear that one apart. You thought DC had the high ground, but unlike episode 3, it is Wings who take the advantage, and they will take the melee racks away from DC. Invoker, no disable, he'll get out safely.
The Slardar has been playing really well. Like, this entire game, he's just been finding these multiple men crushes. That was despite like a really terrible laning phase by them.
Well, Sunstrike, it's all about Wings hitting the damage, and before DC can respond, they don't have Song of the Siren. Misery's moving over. That's on cooldown for another half a minute, and then they actually find Move into the empty center. He'll find the bottom lane. The mech is not enough. The arrow will connect on Shadow. Weeha, he jumps in. He needs double damage right now, but it's not there. Shadow time walks all off, and he's actually in the perfect position for the power sacrifice side. They catch up Weeha. Sentry's dying underneath the tower. They can't keep the vision. Moonlight Shadow helping him to escape. but Luxon will not be so lucky. The arrow will connect again. The DC, they lose 3 heroes trying to contest Wings on Roshan.
DC are imploding at this point. Wings just played so carefully around that Roshan respawn. The way that the timing of their smoke, the items coming out at the perfect time in DC, they were just not prepared. They needed to be grouped up as 5 behind their cores, but they were just far too spread out, unexpecting Wings to come around from behind.
Oh, the blade thrown off. Resolution pop. Amplifying the Sunstrike. They need more damage. The Fire Strike gonna do it. Combining with a Trust. There's no resolution. Boo will go down too. This will be it for DC. They've lost so much. They want to keep fighting. Misery. He'll go down as well. GG.
They thought
Wings will do it.
They thought they had the famous void counter with the first big Nagasari, but this insane amount of stuns from coming out from Wings, their excellent team play.